Oh boy. Damn it, Michael, don't fuck with me.
Sorry. Sorry! Are you ready to die?
Oh yeah.
You want to live forever?
Nope.
Let's go! What's up, guys? I'm back with another stalk and snipe game on a field that is basically in my backyard, but I only just learned about it. This is South Sound Airsoft, which is located on the outskirts of Olympia, and as you can see, it's heavily forested. The current game we're playing is force on force with respawns, and because of all the brush, I have to be slow and careful, as I only have a slight idea as to where the enemy line really is. Target spotted! 200 feet! Right in front! There was a lot of dead space at times during this game, and I'm sure you'll understand that. So we'll have to skip ahead at times because not a lot appears to be going on, even though it really is. I'm actually looking for the enemy. I'll do my best to balance between all the dead space and action shots, but patience is a must as a sniper, so you may have to bear with it at times. In light of this fact, I'll go over it with some of my thought process at the time, and hopefully make it a little more interesting for you guys. Looking for a good clear one. I only have a piece of him. I only have his gun in view. Straight ahead, Jesse. Get him. That's an enemy. Ooh, he's down. I don't know if that was me or someone else. I'll have to review that later.
Still sitting on that log. The log laying down is the guy that had popped up right below that log. You see him? Where at? That log laying down in the dead center. He's gonna walk. See his right hand? Right where his right hand is.
I can see the guy. I can see his gun's tip. I can't see him. I can see the guy's gun's tip. And I'm just now seeing his head. Sniping through all this can be quite difficult. Because of how many trees there are, there's quite a lot of turbulence that can blow your BB off, which is why that first shot you saw was so terrible. And then of course there's the brush, which needs no introduction.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll see me aiming at a target for an extended period of time. That's me trying to get a wild guess as to where that BB's gonna go.
I dived into some straight poison ivy.
It's the best. Here's the part where I learned that that kid did not touch poison ivy. He touched nettles. They're everywhere on this field. I have a good position on them, but my BBs are kind of going to space. I need to get a bit closer. Ooh, that stung like a mother. That's stinging nettles. I just jumped into a patch of nettles. Ooh, yeah, those feel terrible. I'm laying in nettles. Shit. Having realized that this is a very bad position, covered in nettles, and that the enemy is starting to spray up this area, I decided I had to retreat. So I do a little dodge down this hill here with a plan to come up more over on the left where the enemy might not be paying so much attention to, and this is where you see the reality of just how many nettles are on this field. look at this. This patch, all these green stocky plants are stinging nettles. And they get me through my BDUs, they got me through parts of my gloves. I couldn't believe it. It sucked. Not only does it feel like a bee sting happening all over the place, but then afterwards you're left with a bunch of tingling. Surprisingly. So at this point it becomes apparent that I can't move up through the right side of the field. There's too much open space. It's pretty hard to see where the enemy is. There's no way I can stalk up on the right side of the map. So I decided to start banking to the left and to see if I can get into a position where I can sort of flank the right side where the enemy is encamped in. I'm getting shot at. They've got me in this position now, buddy. No go on the left side. God, dude, I'm getting stung everywhere. I know. I'm covered in like fucking dozens of them now. We're gonna have to move. They're gonna be moving up on us. How close? 400? Did I hear you wrong?
Yeah, he's in left side.
Left side. So it's no surprise, enemies on the left side as well. They don't have it as well represented as they do on the right, and there's lots of foliage, so there's more opportunities for me to crawl through. But I'm not exactly certain where all the people are on this side of the map. There are exceptions, I'm finding some targets, but I can tell there's a lot more there than what I can see. I got a target on me right up ahead. He's down. What? No. Negative. Also cannot determine if we're being flanked on the far left side or not. I hear shots. Left side. I can't tell if they're actually firing at us or not, if they're missing. I can't tell, it sounded like something whizzed past.
Oh fuck, they're shooting right at you now. Down and out.
Damn it. Shit. Whew. I hate when people call a ceasefire. They're getting, trees getting lit up. We gotta move back a little bit. And I mean now. Go! Keep your gun up on that direction. They're gonna move now that they saw us retreat. They're gonna try to take the ground that we just lost, so be ready for it. Wow. Snipers operate a heck of a lot better on their own, so at this point I'm trying to distance myself from my team a little bit. Alright, so I'm moving up on the left side here with the intention to get behind the enemy line, or at least in between it as they cross our center field here and try to take over our space. And I get myself into a pretty good position here in front of these trees. and ferns. Even though it's kind of open, they can't see me because I've got a bunch of ferns on my back and vines from past games in my veg cape that I haven't removed. Now, while this is a decent position, it is still open. I have to be careful. I have to be slow. And I know that there's an enemy team not very far from me that I don't see, but I can certainly hear them. They're right up on that line of trees just beyond mine. So I have to be careful and slow. And now we start waiting some more. I'm hoping that the enemy's feisty fighting tactics will work against them, and that they'll come into this area and I can start shooting them from behind. Unfortunately, as you can see, one of my teammates is upright walking. He doesn't really realize how dangerous this area is because he's not taking fire. He also doesn't realize that he is a hazard for me as well, because as soon as the enemy notices him, they're going to start looking at this area more, which means that their attention will be over here, and potentially any stray rounds they fire at any other squadron in this area may end up taking out yours truly. This has actually happened to me before at tags. I had a round where I was crawling through the grass, completely undetected, and I got shot through the grass. At first I was puzzled. I couldn't believe I actually got hit, and I stand up, and the enemy team said he was shooting at somebody else. So this is something you want to avoid as a sniper, your own teammates, because any lines of fire that are laid down onto them can actually take you out as well. As I was saying, your own team can be a very big hazard.
Keep your silhouette
stalking.
down.
And here we have the example.
Over here.
My teammate moves in here, gets taken out, and I'm forced to do a retreat because moments after he's taken out, you'll hear a couple shots start coming my way.
As long as they aren't shooting me. But yeah, try to keep the silhouettes down over here. They don't seem to know I'm here.
Yeah, there's like a...
So now I've got to retreat because this position is used up. And I've got to do it in a way that's quick, but still low. I know it looks clumsy, but if I stand up, I'm definitely dead, because I know there's more people to my far left than who's probably shooting at me straight down the line here. And like I said before, I'm not totally sure where all the enemies are. I know that there's quite a few close by. Right now I've got at least one guy shooting at me. I don't know if he actually sees me. All I do know is I got to get out of this position and get a little further over to the left without being completely detected. Luckily, there's enough foliage on this map that I can do this. And as clumsy as this looks, it actually works out pretty well. Alright, so somehow I've managed to survive all that fire. I'm not sure if they saw me or if they just saw plants moving, but I've survived it. It was a little clumsy, but I managed to get over to a little embankment here, and the fire has died down. I hear people yelling in the center, so I know there's some commotion going up. And I know that my time to make a quick, fast, open move is now. So far the move's been a success. Nobody's shooting up this way, so I don't think anybody knows I'm here. You gotta like this nettle stuck to my camera. That's always nice. Get a nice close-up of these stinging bastards. Anyway, I can hear a team breaking up brush just ahead of me, really, really close to me. And I can't see them, but I can hear them. I know they're enemy. I decided to speed this part up just a little bit, because while it was all tactical and stocky, it was kind of slow going. I had to get to a better position, but I had to do it really slow. There's actually a couple enemies on that cedar tree, that gigantic one in front of me that I'm trying to get a better view on, and I can also hear some enemy voices on the trail. The enemy's confident enough now to patrol the area without really caring too much about cover to cover, so they've pushed my team back enough that they think this area is safe.
Bang.
Luckily they honor bang rules here, so I didn't have to discharge this pistol, and I didn't give away my position. Unfortunately though, it's a respawn game, so there is at least one unit who knows where I'm at, and he'll probably be coming right back here to take me out. I've got to get a couple more kills in this position and then move out of here quickly. Luckily though, I wasn't confronted with the reality of having to move because the game was coming to an end. Alright, so I've got the left side fairly clear, and I can see an enemy squad sitting in this bowl, prone position, at least 3 of them, shooting at my team. I've got a perfect view on them. They have no idea I'm there. This is why I stalk. This is the moment, right here. Unfortunately, my scope camera missed this kill, but I left the scope footage in long enough so you guys could see the view that I was seeing just before the end of the game.
Nicely done, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, up top on that.
This is a nice course.
Did you see, guy? He's literally right here. He's fucking right there.
You guys, look at this course, man. Nettles.
I know. Yeah, it's hey, just so you know, we do actively cut this shit down, but it's tough, right?
I understand.
Spring. So right now we'll come here next couple weeks, whack a bunch down, spray.
I had to pay for that because, man, I'm covered in nettles.
Well, you did a good job, man.
Thank you, guys.
Like right here.
Yeah,
Out of nowhere.
it shoots a little high, so I try not to hit people in the head, but sometimes it accidentally happens.
Thick in my pants, so I barely
I tried to make sure I aimed as low as I aimed as low as I could.
Close.
Yeah, I just hear.
And then I walk up the trail a little farther. I see this bird move, and he goes.
Looks like the vegging is working today.
And just to illustrate how well the veg was working, here's a couple clips from the very next game. We started on the same side, but further back in the map. Now, the game mode was commanders, basically. The objective is to take out the enemy commander before he gets to a certain evac zone, and we also have a commander, and we're trying to get him to an evac zone. So we decided to split into 2 forces. We had the left side defending the VIP, or the commander, and the right side seeking out the enemy. And this didn't work out too well. Both forces got blended pretty quickly. The left side force, which is what I went with, got hit really early on the left boundary of the map and basically got stalemated. I took cover in this heavy downed pile of trees and upstanding trees, just a big mess of plants. Took more of a concealment, I guess you could say, and the enemy didn't seem to notice me, which was working in my favor. Not long after, my team decided to call a retreat, loud enough that the enemy could hear it. So I figured I would use this to my advantage, stay in my position, and see if the enemy would get overzealous and walk past. And I sat here for a while. You can actually see people retreating here. Here's this kid to my left retreating, and then another person to my right shortly after. And I thought the sight of them running might get the enemy overconfident, but of course they didn't make a move. I sat for quite a few minutes, nothing happened. So finally I decide, in all the commotion of squads trading fire, and I'm in the middle of it, maybe I can move up. I decide to use this as a cover to get a little closer, and not long after leaving my position, I hear the enemy moving up on it. Of course they don't know I'm here, but it's still pretty nerve-wracking. There's not much I can do. And there you have it. There's green team. Right in front of me. Man, what I would do for an M4 right now.
To your left, man. Straight ahead of you.
Rather than start shooting at them and give away myself and get killed, I decided to just kind of stalk. This was pretty neat. It was neat being right underneath their nose. I thought this was just as good a footage as getting some kills, really. And they passed me quite a few times without noticing me. So eventually my team makes their way back up to me, and this guy gets pretty close to me. I decide to let him know I'm on his team, just so he doesn't mistake me for an enemy sniper.
On your team, on your team, on your team. You guys almost shot me like a dozen times. Thank you. I've been here since the first retreat.
He can't make out my armband right now. We're all on pink team here, but it's on my left arm, and just from the angle he can't see it. It's a good thing I let him know, because he wasn't sure.
Good shot.
So not long after he gets that kill, the game ends, and I stand up here for a quick second. You can see some of the dead rag people there. Those were enemy. That lets you know just how close that squad was.
That's game over, boys.
So that about wraps it up for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.